Sorry, I get myself so worked up about the stupid part of this. I just kind of forget what I'm supposed to be doing. And the thing I'm supposed to be doing is telling you about heaven. See, that's an awesome place, and that's the forever place. You'll never die. You never poop. You never pee. You still eat up there. You get the pleasure of eating. You ever had the best ribeye steak ever? Yeah, you can play that back and back and back, and you'll always have that ribeye steak. Or that awesome Christmas dinner. That's what you have for Christmas every year. Yeah, that's one of those things that you get to do. And see, the other thing is the children. See, we have souls, but your animals, the animals that love you, they have what's called a spirit. Yeah, they're like a child, 2 to 5 years old. It'll always be a 2 to 5 year old child until it evolves to the point where it gets a soul, and then it'll be a person just like us. It'll be a perfect avatar too. But until then, they're just spirits. They're a program, and but you'll be able to talk to them on the top side. And if you've had a cat or a dog or any animal that's ever loved you, you can replicate that animal, and it'll always be there with you. And the cool part is you can pause it, just like you pause a movie, and turn it back on when you're ready to play with it. You know, it's a program, but it's a program that loves you. That's he didn't. They designed a system to where, because people got used to having children in their life, and they wanted children that loved them. There's no one that loves you more than your pet, if you raised it right. Some pets don't love their owners, and I can't help you on that one, because you got to do the time. But the other thing is the physics up there is totally different than down here. I've talked about that a lot. I'm not going to get into it right now. But the physics up there is completely different. But yeah, exactly the same kind of life. We have trouble with liquids, though. That's one thing I got to work on when I get up there. Can't really make that real or appear to real. But you can always play it back in the holodeck, and it's real there. Because, see, that's the other thing. See, as you go through your life and your boot camp, every experience you ever had, you can play it back. And if there's a little treasure that you had in your boot camp, say you were 5 and you had that toy that you just loved and now it's gone, you wished you had it back, totally replicate it right again, and you'll be able to have it forever. See, that's the thing about our boot camp. That's the only thing you get to take with you to the top side, is your experiences. Nothing leaves the nursery except you and your experiences. And on the top side, you can play them all back. And you can get all your treasures back. But you gotta have magic. And that's where that scorecard comes in. That's your eternal 401k program. Every month you get so much magic. And I say magic because there's no real word for it here. But remember, microwave is magic to a caveman. So there's real science behind it. We just can't understand it here on this side. But it is an allowance that you get every month. And it depends on how good you were in boot camp. That's where that scorecard comes in. Being a decent person really matters on the top side. You know, some of those Egyptian slaves that were really abused and lived really rawful and were really beaten, and they did pretty damn good. Yeah. But a lot of them were really, really rotten in themselves, so they kind of canceled each other out. So not any angels out of it. But it was an awful time of life. You know, people were awful to each other back then. We're so much better than we were back then. See, people think it's how awful it is here today, but it is so much different from then. But, you know, that's the other part about that's on the top side. It's God's History Channel. You ever wanted to know some of the stuff that really went down? Trust me, it's there. See, that's the thing. You know, when they talk about God being the truth of all knowledge, yeah, he literally is the truth of all knowledge. There ain't a damn thing that happened in this boot camp that he don't have a record of it. It's all recorded. Everything that's ever happened here. And you'll see how awful we were to each other back in those days. It was really, really rough. But we've evolved, and we are so much more civilized today. It may not seem it, and it's only because there's a lot of lawlessness in the children in the malprogramming, because they can get away with it. We're going to put an end to that too. See, the thing is, everyone needs to be ID'd, and you are your ID. Fingerprint, facial recognition, DNA, eye scan. Dude, you are a walking ID of who you are, and we'll have that. And you'll need that, because that's the only way you're going to be able to do anything here. It's a union shop. And we're going to have everybody membered and joining. It's going to be mandatory. Or you're on the outside. Not going to be a very good picture for you on the outside. But it'll be all right. Everything's going to be just fine. Remember, it's about your eternal life. You live forever up there. And it is a pleasure place. It is beautiful. And everything lasts forever. See, everything falls apart down here. And it's meant that way, design. Up there, nothing falls apart. Nothing grows. But nothing ever falls apart up there. So if you build something, unless somebody moves it or does something to it, it's going to be there forever. And there's a lot more details I can cover here on the top side, but I just wanted to cover that part so that you understood what you're really going for. This little time in boot camp, it ain't shit. It ain't nothing. It's a blink. Top side, you'll see what I mean after you've been there 300, 400, 500 years.